This video presentation is brought to you by the Pro Mathematics Academy. Welcome back to this video presentation brought to you by the Pro Mathematics Academy. In this video, we'll be continuing our series on trigonometry, and in particular, we now look at the trigonometric ratios. Right before I dive into what the trigonometric ratios are, it's important to note here that on our right-hand side, we have these triangles, right, which are all right-angled triangles, right? And we are showing where the hypotenuse is relative to the angle. So here, we see that the hypotenuse is the largest side as usual, right? We also see the opposing side here, right, which is the side that is opposite to the angle. And we also see the adjacent side here, which is the side that is said to be adjacent to the angle, okay? So it is important that we understand how each of these terminologies play out with respect to the angle that we are looking at, okay? So now we go ahead and we define, right, trigonometric ratios to be, these ratios are used when we have one angle and one side of a right triangle and we want to find a missing side, or we have two sides but we want to find one of the missing angles, okay? I know that sounds like a mouthful, but after going through the examples, we'll understand more clearly what this means. But it's important to understand that when we use the trigonometric ratios, usually the angle is involved in the relationship, okay? So the Pythagorean law only looks at the sides, right? But the trigonometric ratios look at the sides and the angle on the inside of the triangle, okay? So this is where we make a distinction, all right? So each ratio is used for a special combination of sides and angles, all right? Meaning the sine ratio is used when we have the opposite side and the hypotenuse. The cosine ratio is used when we have the adjacent side and the hypotenuse, okay? Likewise, the tan ratio is used when you have the opposite side and the adjacent side, okay? Nice. So let's jump right into each of these ratios. Here we look at the sine ratio, the cosine ratio, and the tan ratio, okay? So the sine ratio says that the sine of the angle, theta, is equal to the opposite side divided by the hypotenuse, okay? The cosine ratio, which says that the cosine of the angle is equal to the adjacent side divided by the hypotenuse. And the tan ratio, which says that the tan of the angle is equal to the opposite side divided by the adjacent side. Okay, so a common way to remember these ratios is by the nomenclature so, ka, toa. All right, so this is used to help us to remember that sine is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. Ka is used to help us remember that the cosine of the angle is equal to the adjacent over the hypotenuse, and toa is used to help us to remember that the tan of the angle is equal to the opposite over the adjacent, right? That is it for this video. Please remember to hit the notification bell, like, share, and subscribe for future post notification.